5 people you must avoid in old age, even family, Buddhism perspective. Have you ever wondered why, as we age, some people bring peace to our hearts while others only add invisible weights to our shoulders? What if the key to a joyful and tranquil old age isn't just about what we do, but about who we choose to keep close? Today, let's uncover the hidden truth. Sometimes the greatest act of self-care is having the courage to step back, even from those we once called family. As the Buddha wisely said, "Your own self is your master. Who else could be?" This timeless teaching reminds us that our inner peace and happiness are shaped by the choices we make, especially the people we invite into our lives. Old age is often called the golden chapter of life, a time to reflect, to cherish the simple joys, and to find deep tranquility. But just like a delicate garden that needs careful tending, our relationships in later life must be nurtured or pruned with mindfulness. Some connections nourish the soul like a gentle rain, others, sadly, sap it like relentless weeds. Today, we will explore 5 types of people you must avoid in old age, even if they are family. Why? Because protecting your peace, honoring your life's journey, and embracing true wisdom means letting go of unnecessary burdens with compassion and clarity. The manipulator, picture this. You're sitting in your cozy armchair, enjoying a serene afternoon, perhaps sipping your favorite tea. The gentle breeze sways the curtains. Then, ring, ring. The phone breaks the calm. It's a familiar voice, a relative asking for yet another favor. At first, it feels harmless. You oblige, thinking, it's just a small act of kindness. But little by little, the favors pile up. Requests grow frequent, even demanding. Before you know it, your once peaceful days feel hijacked, leaving you drained, emotionally taxed, and questioning your boundaries. Manipulators are skilled at cloaking their demands in the language of love, loyalty, and guilt. They appeal to your nurturing instincts. They whisper of duty, of past sacrifices, and slowly weave a web that's hard to escape. You might find yourself saying yes out of habit, only to realize that their dependence isn't born from true need, it's born from convenience. Every small favor, no matter how insignificant it seems at first, begins to chip away at the sanctuary of peace you've spent a lifetime building. In Buddhism, we are taught about the profound importance of setting boundaries, not as an act of selfishness, but as a higher form of compassion. True compassion doesn't mean enabling harmful behaviors. It means protecting your own well-being so that your kindness remains genuine, not forced. Over time, manipulators may escalate. They might remind you of everything you once did for them. They might accuse you of changing, of being selfish or uncaring, turning your own generosity into a weapon against you. But remember, the Buddha's teaching is clear. True compassion begins within. Without safeguarding your own heart and peace, you cannot genuinely offer kindness to others. How can you protect yourself? Learn the art of discernment. When someone asks for help, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, will saying yes to this bring harmony or tension into my life? Will it nourish me or drain me? Consider the full impact on your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Practice saying no, gently but firmly. For example, you might say, I understand your situation, but I need to take care of myself right now. Remember, setting boundaries is not an act of coldness. It is a deep act of self-respect and wisdom, a way to honor both yourself and the journey you've walked. Establishing clear boundaries is truly an act of self-respect and self-preservation. It's a way to reclaim control over your own precious energy and limited time, allowing space for the activities and relationships that truly matter, the ones that lift your spirit instead of weighing it down. Within the wisdom of Buddhist philosophy, boundaries are seen as a beautiful expression of mindfulness. They call upon us to stay present, fully aware of our own needs, emotions, and limitations. When you say no, you are not rejecting the person. You are simply refusing the imbalance they introduce into your life. This mindful practice gently redirects your focus toward connections that uplift, nourish, and honor your journey. Imagine this serene scene. An elder sitting quietly in their lush garden, surrounded by the soft chirping of birds and the whisper of the breeze through the trees. The phone rings in the distance. Instead of rushing to answer, they smile softly and let it ring, choosing instead to savor the golden warmth of the present moment. This small action, though seemingly simple, symbolizes a profound shift, a conscious decision to prioritize inner peace over external expectations. By embracing this mindset, you not only reclaim your autonomy, but also open the door to a life that feels lighter, richer, and more authentically joyful. 2. The self-absorbed. As we continue our journey, let's meet another type of person you must be mindful of: the self-absorbed. The Buddha taught that true connection is born from empathy and understanding, from the ability to truly see and hear one another. Yet, some individuals become so consumed by their own desires, worries, and narratives that they forget others even exist. You may recognize this situation. You sit down to share a cherished memory, perhaps a story of an old journey that still lights up your heart. You begin to speak, excited to relive that moment. But before you even finish the first sentence, the person across from you cuts in. They hijack the conversation, shifting it to their own tales, their own victories, their own grievances. They don't merely interrupt, they overshadow. What could have been a shared, heartwarming moment becomes yet another monologue about themselves. Over time, these one-sided interactions leave a quiet ache inside you. The feeling of being unseen, unheard, almost invisible, as if your presence serves merely as a backdrop for their spotlight. It's important to understand, most self-absorbed individuals do not act out of cruelty. Rather, it often stems from an inability to truly empathize, a deep inward focus that blinds them to the emotional needs of others. They might genuinely enjoy your company, yet they lack the awareness to nurture a mutual exchange of care and respect. This imbalance can feel even heavier in old age, when your wealth of experiences, your stories, your wisdom deserve not just polite acknowledgement, but celebration. How should we respond to such individuals? It takes a blend of patience and self-awareness. When conversations are repeatedly dominated by their narratives, gently steer the balance back. You might say, "I'd like to finish sharing my story. It's meaningful to me." Such a statement isn't confrontational. It's a soft but powerful reminder that your voice matters too. And little by little, consistent redirection can plant seeds for more respectful exchanges. However, it's equally important to recognize. Previously, we talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with those who truly listen, value, and uplift you. Now let's continue this journey of protecting your inner peace by understanding when and why it's necessary to set firm limits. There comes a time when setting limits is not just helpful, it's absolutely necessary. Spending prolonged periods with someone who consistently disregards your feelings, your voice, and your perspective can slowly but surely drain your emotional reserves. Choosing to limit your interactions or seeking out relationships with those who truly listen, encourage, and celebrate you is a profound act of self-care. Picture this. You walk into a gathering where every voice is welcomed. Laughter bubbles up naturally, stories are shared with genuine warmth, and each person listens with shining eyes and open hearts. The atmosphere feels light, joyful, almost like a symphony of connection. This is the beauty of balanced relationships. Such moments stand in stark contrast to the draining one-sided dynamics we sometimes endure. They remind us vividly that human connection, when rooted in mutual respect and appreciation, can be one of life's greatest sources of joy. In Buddhism, relationships are seen not merely as attachments, but as sacred opportunities to practice mindfulness and compassion. By consciously nurturing connections grounded in mutual care and understanding, you create an environment where both you and those around you can thrive, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. In your quiet moments of reflection, always remember your experiences, your wisdom, your life stories. They are priceless treasures. They carry lessons, laughter, and light, and they deserve to be shared with those who truly see and cherish you. Release the exhausting need to gain approval from those who refuse to recognize your worth. Instead, pour your energy into friendships, family ties, and community bonds that celebrate the richness of your journey. The journey that only you have walked. 3. The critic. As we continue exploring, we meet another figure you must be mindful of, the critic. Criticism, especially when it comes from those we love, can sting deeply. The critic is that person who never seems to miss an opportunity to point out your flaws or question your choices, often under the thin veil of helpfulness. It usually starts subtly. Perhaps they say, "You know, you really should," or "Have you ever considered?" At first glance, these words may seem harmless, even well-meaning, but beneath them often lies a heavy weight of disapproval. Over time, the steady drip of critique can feel like water slowly wearing away stone, unnoticed at first, but eventually carving deep cracks into your confidence and self-worth. The cumulative effect shapes not just how you see yourself, but how you experience the world. Buddhist philosophy offers a liberating truth here. Words, like arrows, only hurt if we allow them to penetrate our hearts. This teaching reminds us that we hold the power over how much influence the words of others have on us. Criticism only wields the force that we grant it. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward reclaiming your inner peace. When faced with a critic, it's important to pause and reflect. Are they offering genuine, constructive feedback aimed at your growth? Or are their remarks tinted by their own insecurities and frustrations? More often than not, habitual critics project their own inner struggles onto others. Their judgments are less about you and more about their unresolved fears. Understanding this helps you respond not with defensiveness, but with calm empathy. When criticism arises, instead of internalizing the negativity, practice responding with calm confidence. You might simply say, "I appreciate your perspective, but I am content with the path I've chosen." Such a response is not confrontational. It's a gentle yet powerful way of affirming your choices and setting healthy emotional boundaries. In some cases, however, when criticism becomes a persistent cloud of negativity and judgment, it may be necessary to create distance. Choosing to limit your exposure to such dynamics is a profound act of self-respect and self-care. Imagine this peaceful scene. You are tending to your garden under the soft golden sunlight. A neighbor passes by and tosses a critical comment your way. But instead of letting it disturb your peace, you simply smile, turn your attention back to your blooming flowers, and continue nurturing the life you've lovingly built. This simple image captures the quiet, unshakable power of resilience, a reminder that your peace is yours to protect always. By embracing this mindful strength, you honor the life you have created. You remember that your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion, and your happiness does not depend on their approval. By focusing on what uplifts and inspires you, you cultivate a sanctuary where your true self can flourish, strong, radiant, and free. Previously, we explored the impact of constant criticism and how choosing resilience and self-worth can help protect our inner peace. Now, let's turn our attention to another challenge, one that can quietly sap your energy if you're not careful: dealing with the irresponsible. The irresponsible. The irresponsible person is one who quietly leans on others to carry the weight of their problems, emotionally, financially, or otherwise. They thrive on the generosity of those around them, often making promises to change, yet rarely following through. Over time, their behavior disrupts the delicate peace you have worked so diligently to create and protect. At first, their requests may seem small and reasonable: a loan to cover an unexpected expense, a sympathetic ear during a hard moment, a little help managing a temporary setback. And moved by kindness and trust, you may willingly offer your support, believing that your compassion could make a difference. But as time stretches on, a clear pattern begins to reveal itself. The requests multiply, becoming more frequent, more urgent. The promises of repayment or change start to ring hollow, like echoes fading into silence. Gradually, the burden of their irresponsibility shifts onto your shoulders, leaving you not only emotionally exhausted, but in some cases, financially drained as well. Buddhism teaches us through the law of karma that each person is responsible for the consequences of their own actions. When we constantly step in to rescue someone from the results of their choices, we inadvertently interfere with their karmic path, robbing them of the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to build the resilience necessary to navigate life's inevitable challenges. True compassion, as Buddhism reminds us, is not about sacrificing ourselves endlessly. It is about supporting others mindfully, with love that respects both them and ourselves. Acknowledging your own limits is the essential first step in dealing with an irresponsible individual. You must recognize that you are not obligated to solve problems that are not yours to carry. Practicing compassionate detachment allows you to care without becoming tangled in someone else's chaos. For example, you might say, "I care about you, but I'm not in a position to solve this for you." Perhaps you could explore other options. This kind yet firm response expresses empathy while clearly establishing a boundary that protects your own well-being. Another powerful approach is shifting from fixing to guiding. Instead of stepping in to fix their problems, offer advice or point them toward resources that empower them to help themselves. If someone repeatedly asks for financial help, you might gently suggest, maybe speaking to a financial counselor or creating a budget could help you find a long-term solution. By encouraging them to take responsibility for their own lives, you not only preserve your peace, you also give them the gift of growth. Imagine this: an elder lighting incense at a simple home altar, the soft spirals of smoke rising gently into the air. In that quiet moment of reflection and prayer, they practice detachment and balance, releasing burdens that were never theirs to carry. By choosing to prioritize your inner harmony, you create space for genuine joy and fulfillment in your golden years. Remember, letting go of the need to rescue others is not cruelty. It's a deep act of honoring your own life, your time, and your journey. Your golden years are not meant to be spent carrying the heavy baggage of others' choices. They are meant for exploration, self-care, and meaningful connections, the things that nourish your spirit and celebrate the fullness of your life. By setting clear, compassionate boundaries and focusing on your own well-being, you empower not only yourself but also those around you, giving everyone the chance to stand on their own feet and thrive. After understanding how dealing with irresponsible individuals can affect your peace, we now turn to yet another subtle yet powerful drain on your spirit: the ungrateful. 5. The ungrateful. There is a deep and sacred joy that comes from giving, offering your time, your help, your heart. But few burdens feel heavier than encountering ingratitude. The ungrateful person takes your kindness for granted, leaving you feeling unseen, unappreciated, and ultimately disheartened. At first, you may brush it off. A missed thank you here, a forgotten acknowledgement there. But over time, the pattern weighs heavily on your heart. The joy you once found in giving begins to fade, replaced by a quiet sadness, a questioning of why your genuine efforts seem to go unnoticed. Picture this scene. You prepare a meal with love and care, only to hear complaints instead of thanks. Or you offer unwavering support through someone's darkest days, only to find silence when you yourself need a comforting word. Buddhist teachings gently remind us, true giving is done without attachment to outcomes. We give from the heart, not for praise, not for recognition, but because it feels right. Yet even with this wisdom, it's vital to recognize when your energy and kindness are being misused. Kindness is a precious gift, and like all treasures, it deserves to be respected. When the joy of giving fades into resentment or fatigue, it's a clear sign. The balance in the relationship has shifted, and it's time to reflect. Ask yourself, are these relationships built on mutual respect or on silent expectation? Does this person truly value my efforts, or do they treat my generosity as something they are owed? In many cases, the ungrateful do not intentionally hurt you. Often, they act from a place of entitlement, unaware of the impact of their behavior. Understanding this can guide your next steps, whether it means gently addressing the imbalance or choosing to redirect your kindness elsewhere. Redirecting your energy toward those who genuinely appreciate it can be profoundly fulfilling. For example, consider giving your time to meaningful causes or communities where your efforts are truly cherished. Imagine an elder at a bustling community center, surrounded by children's laughter, sharing stories, or helping prepare meals. The warm smiles, the heartfelt thanks, they renew the spirit, reminding you of the true beauty of giving. It is equally important to reflect deeply on your own reasons for giving. Acts of generosity should nourish your soul, bringing peace and fulfillment, not resentment, not exhaustion. By focusing on the positive feelings that thoughtful giving cultivates, you build a profound sense of purpose and connection that transcends any one person's response. Let go of the need to please those who cannot see your worth. Instead, celebrate and nurture the relationships that uplift you, inspire you, and mirror the love and respect you offer. Imagine a life where your acts of kindness are met with gratitude, where the people you choose to help genuinely value your time, your heart, your wisdom. This life isn't just a distant dream. It is a reality you can create by choosing wisely where to invest your precious energy. Your golden years should be a time of peace, reflection, and joy, not frustration or unmet expectations. By prioritizing your well-being and focusing on meaningful connections, you preserve the pure joy of giving while shielding your heart from the sting of ingratitude. As we journey through life, and especially as we step into the later chapters, protecting our peace becomes not just important, but essential. By choosing the right relationships and letting go of those that quietly erode our spirit, we honor the wisdom, the strength, and the beauty of our existence. Always remember the Buddha's timeless words, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Let this truth be your guiding star as you embrace the golden years with grace, serenity, and a heart open only to love, kindness, and respect, the true pillars of a life well lived. What steps will you take today to protect your peace? Share your reflections in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more inspiring content. Together, let's build a community rooted in wisdom, compassion, and genuine connection.